When you're cutting either a through housing joint or a stopped housing joint, it's quite important to do something called knifing and notching. Okay, and all it involves is we're going to use now it should be a cutting knife. I've only got a craft knife, it's the wrong thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut along the line where I would like to cut the joint eventually with my tenon saw. Now, by doing this does two things. One, by dragging it back a few times, what I've done is I've cut all the fibres of the wood there. Right? So it's going to be a really neat, nice cut. And then when we use the saw, it's not going to tear the wood. So it's going to keep it nice and neat. Secondly, once I've done the bit which is called notching, which means I'm going to take my bevel edge chisel, and I'm going to work from the inside of the joint, okay, and I'm going to keep my chisel around about 45 degrees. I'm just resting my hand on the wood there to keep the chisel at the right angle. I'm not going to use the whole blade because it's going to ask too much for it cutting off. I'm just going to take a little bit at a time, and I'm just going to use that. I'm going to rest on the handle of the chisel, and I'm just going to remove a little bit, and I'm going to work my way along at 45 degrees. And what I'm doing is I'm leaning on the chisel and rocking it, taking it along a little bit, leaning, rocking, and that allows me to keep going along here. And I'm going to put a little V or the notch in the bit of the material. Okay, and then once I've done that, I'm just going to run the chisel, and it's going to take it all away. And what that gets is it gets a really neat line there, because we've cut, like I say, we've cut all the fibres of the wood. And then I'm going to take my tenon saw, put it in that groove, and it keeps the saw nice and straight, and we've got a nice neat cut for the joint. Right, so this is just to show you that when you take your tenon saw, the advantages of doing your knifing and notching is I can now get the blade of the saw in the groove, and then I can just concentrate on starting again at a little angle, just start at the beginning there, and I'm going to begin, and once I get the saw cut moving, once I get the saw cut moving, I can rest it at the groove, okay, and then that's going to allow me to cut down to the right depth for my through housing.